Not yet. Ooh, that was a surprisingly good burp.
Go get dessert.
No, it's too late. It's past 9.
We're warming up.
All right.
Okay, YouTube is running. Facebook is running. Carlo Cruz, I'll just pass by since my stomach's empty and this episode won't help my cause.
Oh no, that is dangerous.
No. Sorry to hear that, Carlo.
Yeah, I specifically put a warning that please eat before the episode.
This is a dangerous topic.
Because people always complain that they get hungry when we have food topics, and yet people keep suggesting food topics. So, go figure. I'm still Lazada angry.
Because of the error.
Yeah. It's so annoying. And it's stupid. It's a really small amount, and I really shouldn't complain, right? It's just like,
no, it's the frustration.
It's the principle of it. Yes.
Yeah, because as far as you were concerned, it was all
set now.
Yeah, so it's a valid concern and frustration.
And I had 2 other orders arrive from the same day, and it's fine. Then again, they were like grocery items. So what can I do? What can I do? Oof. That's actually working. That's what I like.
Hey, Mitch. I can't help but wonder how loud the fan is. Mitch, did you hear the fan? Take your vitamins. Hey there.
Oh, hello, Nathaniel.
Yeah, we'll be starting in 2 minutes as we just wait for a few more viewers to show up. Do please reshare the link.
Like, share,
invite your friends.
All the fun stuff.
Drag your family. Ask your old schoolmates. Tag your ex. But yeah, tonight's another night of Baduy Pride, and we shall de-stress by talking about stuff we want to talk about.
Girl Lazada, I really want to. I can't. I'm checking
out. Hey, perfect visual, and I love how it has a chewing motion animation.
Oh, on Facebook, I can't see. Yeah, on Restream, it's static.
Nom 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 nom.
Eat me, I'm delicious.
The computer is like at the optimal distance to be annoying regardless of which lens I use.
Still in training with 15 minutes, link 60. Oh my gosh, Mitch. You juggling.
Hey, Karen. 1 more minute and we will start. We're just letting the pot boil.
I think I will vent this in FGTC. I'm so sorry. I love our group. But then it's like our safe space for these little things that are sometimes dire, off, sometimes stupid, but they just bum you out.
And for those who joined us the other day, can you find the egg?
Oh man, it's gonna happen for a while now, huh?
What?
This egg thing.
Why? You don't like the egg thing?
I don't know. It's a little creepy.
Why?
See the way you say it. Why you're so defensive over a plastic egg?
It's just funny. Like, there it is. Ing smothered. Okay, that's 9:15. We might as well start. This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
This is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us. We talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. This is our 172nd episode, and we are talking about swimming in hot pot.
This is specifically a title, an episode suggested by Mitch, and we actually took her title from the topic list. And actually, it's a full thing. Wait, let me pull it up how she wrote it. Because, of course, in classic Mitch fashion, it's like, swimming in hot pot. What do you like to have in hot pot? Where is the best place to eat or order hot pot? Making it at, I'm thinking she means home. What? To get equipment, ingredients, safety precautions, the pot, the broth, spicy or not spicy, side dish or drink to have while having hot pot. And ladies and gentlemen, if you know Mitch, it's a special skill to read her social media typing. It's like, it's always rushed. I think it tests the limit of her autocorrect. But I get it. I just understand. So, so we're talking about hot pot. And in another chat with Karen, who's also watching today, she was asking, what's hot pot ba? And then okay, that's funny. So this is one of the few times I'm going to let Toby loose and say, I think we need to start with a definition. So Toby, what is hot pot?
Well, for the longest time, I thought hot pot was a very specific dish. And I always separated it from a lot of the other things, which turn out to be hot pot also in their own way.
Yeah, at its most basic, hot pot as a cooking style, or I can't even really start it as a cuisine, but as a cooking style, is really as basic as when people get hot pot.
No?
Found a way to bring the egg into this episode. Again. At its most basic principle, it's a cooking style that started with a pot of boiling water and people adding ingredients to it to eat together. So I guess in terms of the fundamental aspects of what makes good hot pot or what started hot pot was communal eating and then a variety of ingredients. Initially it was a lot of meat.
Yes.
And then later on they added other stuff.
Like chicken. I'll put it aside. But yes, hot pot.
Can't take this seriously.
Continue.
Mina has immediately replied, it's keto. I say it can be, depending on your ingredients. But possible things. So if we go to the origins of hot pot, it's definitely a Chinese thing. Or at least some of the earliest reported hot pot took place in China. And then, as is the way of Chinese cuisine, and because of the sheer size of that country, there is different variants of flavor and style based on the region. You want? I'm surprised you're not reading off anything. So I don't know how you want to highlight stuff.
Well, I'm more worried about mispronouncing things.
That's safe. Okay,
See?
Basically that there's some that are spicier and some that are not.
And I guess to add, many of the more popular forms that we did not realize also counted as hot pot included stuff like shabu shabu, chocolate fondue, and the like.
Well, fondue's like a stretch, but I think
Mhm.
like I mean, but it's the same principle,
Yes.
and that's how they were comparing it. So, but no, Karen, shabu shabu is actually Japanese hot pot.
Mhm.
And then sukiyaki is also a style of
Mhm.
Japanese hot pot. And there's
With-
another one with noodles.
With shabu shabu being the term because it was the sound of swish swish when you swish the meat in the soup.
Toby's is super amused by
So
the
that's
swish
shabu
thing.
shabu, which is their
It's onomatopoeic. Yeah, isn't that cool? And then going around the region, there's all of these different types. So
Mhm.
at its most basic, there are many, many, many styles of hot pot, especially in Southeast Asia,
Mhm.
especially in Asia. Sorry, and we typically associate it with Chinese cuisine, but then again, there are the Japanese styles, and then there's the Japanese style that got fused around. The Korean style tends to involve the cooking receptacle where it has a dome,
Yes.
and that dome part stays out of the soup, and then the so that when you grill things in the middle, Korean barbecue style, the meat drippings and fat drip into the
Mhm.
soup, making it more flavorful. And then that style, with the dome in the middle, also got like readapted in where's this in Thailand,
Mhm.
which
Thai suki.
it's mukrata,
Okay.
or in Malaysia, it's more commonly known as mukata,
Yes.
which is how I encountered it in Singapore. So, from a personal standpoint, I think my experience with hot pot leveled up significantly because of my frequent trips to Singapore.
Mhm.
And like another term for hot pot is steamboat.
Yes.
And that's always been like, then let's, it's like the default, like if you're going to have a group of people, let's eat steamboat. And hence you have places like Heidi Lao and oh my God, Beauty in the Pot and Coca and all these things, that all these different variants. So it's always, uh, big soup, whatever, and throw things in and see what happens. And it's that experience that as the night, as the dinner progresses, then the soup flavor changes
Mhm.
because of everything you added.
So it's the liquid version of the budol fight.
I guess
Because the
that's
budol
one way
fight
to
was
say it.
also born with the idea to eat communally. All the mix of ingredients are there, and then you eat what you want, and what's left behind does change what is available as you queue along.
That's one way of looking at it. And then depending on the specific style of hot pot, whether it's differing based on region of China or even country of origin,
Mhm.
then it kind of just changes like what the typical ingredients are, or whether or not you have a dipping sauce.
And what the soup base will be.
Yes. So it's interesting. So things like sukiyaki, the Japanese side, they like to dip into raw egg. So you cook your meat and then you dip into
Mhm.
raw egg.
And you don't cook the egg.
Yeah, it's literally raw egg, and then it will only lightly coat the meat while it's still hot,
Mhm.
and then you can eat it. And it's creepy. It's kind of scary from a food safety perspective, but it is an established way of eating it.
Mhm. It's probably just as scary as it is for foreigners to consider our street food.
Karen's like, is there a Pinoy hot pot? I don't think there's an official
Mhm.
Pinoy hot pot. Most hot pot in the country is still of Chinese origin. But while we were like double checking before the episode, there's a bunch of YouTube videos of people that try to make their own spin on hot pot.
Mhm.
And I think there's no limit really, because as long as you are happy with the combination of meat and stuff, then you're fine.
Wikipedia does list that in Cebu, there is a specialty restaurant that has a hot pot that is literally a huge ceramic pot filled with cooked rice, beef, pork, chicken, special sauce, and then certain vegetables, including shallots, ginger, pechay, kangkong leaves, spices, as well as slices of hard-boiled eggs. So it's more similar to kamameshi than the namesake.
And then right after, the Wikipedia article says citation needed.
Yes.
So the person did not name the restaurant, which is funny after taking all this time to edit.
But it does show you how, from what was generally a communal soup, the transformation is again changing with the times we're in. As long as it's in a pot, people would start calling it hot pot.
So going back, so what's this? There's a sinigang soup base and some of the shabu shabu places. And I was wondering about this over dinner. Like, I wonder if I could use like sinigang base as hot pot soup. But my only worry, especially if I'm using instant, is that it's super frothy. And then like just night because I cooked today, it always overboils.
But that happens because it's covered, right?
No, even if I leave it open, it just gets. So I really have to keep my liquid level lower or whatever because I
the heat has to be low because the production of bubbles from the constant heat does build up.
Yeah.
Inks also mentioned
cannot with the raw egg. It's not bad. It's like how you're supposed to eat carbonara.
Yeah, I personally feel I can. I know it's not safe, but if I did it with sarsi, I can do it with soup.
Is this like an ROTC thing?
Oh, raw egg and sarsi. That was a 90s thing.
What does that mean? What does that do?
You mix the raw egg with your sarsi.
Why would you do this?
It was a way to drink it.
It's not even claiming health benefits.
Did you guys have raw egg and sarsi? Please comment. Okay, going on.
Are we at 10? No, we're not at 10. And then nilaga. I don't know if you could nilaga. I mean, in theory, any soup base could work. That's the argument.
Yeah.
That any soup base could work.
I mean, I guess if we assume it was nilaga, but then you had a bunch of vegetables on the side, and then you can choose to dip in the ones you want to cook. But then the nilaga probably was cooked with the meats because that's where the flavor comes from. Then maybe we could hot pot nilaga as well.
Ings likes his eggs overcooked, and well, that's choice. And then Nigel says Japanese eggs are quote unquote clean and you can eat them raw like that. Everywhere else is a no. Eggs are eggs, I think it's fine. As the fact that it should still be the meat should still be hot ideally.
Yeah, and I think the Japanese eggs are clean falls under the line of, I guess we're talking about a certain grade. It's sort of like saying Kobe beef is a certain grade of beef clean. So.
It's like carbonara. I've been trying. And the scrambled egg. It's tricky. It's really like me. I kill heat, and then
you do it
then you really gotta stir into the lingering heat. Yeah, but it works better on a gas range than an electric because an electric your heat will super linger. Mai says didn't have the egg and sarsi, but my brother and friends said, "What is this egg and sarsi business?"
It was a thing. It was supposed to be a healthier way to drink your soda. It was a sad cream soda experience because of the silkiness of the egg mixing with the carbonated drink.
Okay, that's all I can say. Minus like that's our soda float before. What the?
Yes, it was a thing. It was. There was a comment earlier from, I think it was Mai, laughing about, let's order swish swish. It sounds funny, but it's not that different from saying kain tayo sa turo turo.
Right? It's point.
Diba? So it's just how the names do form sometimes based on the way
it's just work. It just works.
For all we know, fish balls, if it became popular in a very cultural designed way, it would be called tusok tusok rather than fish balls.
So on the whole, it's like, so I appreciate just more and more we see hot pots now as a buffet style experience or big set meals depending, and it really varies based on the restaurant. And naturally, buffets have become keto's best friend when you're on a keto diet, because if you can pick the ingredients and you can order an unlimited amount, then that's fine. In the restaurants I've gone to in Singapore, they're typically sit-down buffets where you order ingredients and then they'll provide servings to you. Here we haven't really done a hot pot buffet here. They're typically sets. I think there's the shabu shabu.
I mean, the place would be a buffet place, but the hot pot would still be sets because that's how they make money. Because you have to order sets of vegetables and
there was that one at Uptown.
Yes,
remember? But that was like sad.
That was a bit sad, and that was mostly fish cakes. As much as we wanted more stuff, it was mostly fish cakes.
And then the meats like seemed suspect. Then again, we like went at we were like last order right before closing.
Now, just to go through that portion of this discussion, Mina, hot pot is keto if you watch what ingredients go in.
And even think about the soup base.
So potatoes in hot pot is not keto.
Noodles.
Beans in
Yeah.
hot pot is not keto. Noodles in hot pot is not keto. Um, all the balls are most likely not keto. That's fish balls, beef balls, shrimp balls, etc., balls, crab sticks. Most likely, all of those
There's
are
the
not
one. We
keto.
tried shaburi at
Mhm.
Uptown. So that wasn't fun. I wouldn't recommend shaburi.
And then bear in mind, even fruit is not keto. So when you have melon, when you have
It really depends on what your buffet
pumpkin,
arrangement is. But yeah, so there's that, and I don't mind. I don't need my hot pot experience to be buffet necessarily.
I know what fish balls are so good.
But then you don't know what's in the fish balls. You don't
And-
know what additives
And they're definitely made with
extenders.
flour.
Yeah. So they're not exactly just fish clumped together in a ball.
Mhm.
Yeah, you might have slightly better luck with chicken balls, but I would recommend more chicken balls like in Singapore than here because
Yeah.
they seem like
Here
less
it's still
flour.
here it's still flour, which is why when Rocky and I tend to have hot pot, and it's the places we're experimenting on. It's not the places we normally go to because the
Mm.
one in Makati that what we go to that was perfect. That was
Gansu
beautiful.
Shabuey, good
Yeah.
stuff.
But in other places we go to, I would have mountains of noodles and the corn.
That's the one at Aura. Okay, to be fair, because like we end up ordering sets, right? And then it has a preset number of veggies.
Mhm.
But then I can't eat the noodles. I won't eat the corn.
Mhm.
I won't eat the fish balls. So then I start passing things to Toby and I trade it for like more pechay.
So by the end of the meal, my bowl, my hot pot is filled with really engorged noodles, the ones that have been there from the start of the meal. Because I've been eating some, but I can't like eat all of them. And yeah, it's funny.
So the one that in recent years we've been going to a lot was Gansu Shabuey at Glorieta 5.
Mhm.
And it's not unlimited, so this is a sit down thing. But we have found that the one order of meat
There was their meat and,
and then
there's
meat
the
and mushroom
meat
set.
and mushroom set, which has a nice collection of vegetables and mushrooms and meat. And we're able to order that with little guilt.
Yeah, and
'Cause there's so
then
little stuff. There's so few that we don't get to use.
and then if I'm hungry pa, I would just get another mushroom veggie side.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even get more meat, and we
Mhm.
would just get because the way I compensate on keto is that I eat like a rabbit, and
Mhm.
like I just need more cabbage and,
And then
stuff.
they have
Technically,
interesting
it's
soup.
unlimited rice.
So there's the ginger based soup.
Yeah, there's like the ginger chicken.
There's the
spicy
seaweed.
one. There's the seaweed.
Yeah,
And then shoyu. I think the
the salt based.
salt based one.
So
yeah.
it's very nice that you're able to try different soup bases as well there.
But admittedly, we tend to stick to just the ginger chicken and the seaweed.
Yeah.
We're not that daring. We don't do super spicy. Although I probably still spice up my dipping sauce
Mhm.
for that one.
And the dipping sauces most likely are not keto unless you watch which ones you're using.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful about it. And I always deal with that in moderation.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I like that style, which I think is like it's a very predominant one where you have your hot pot, but then you also have a dipping sauce, and then you gather your ingredients so normally you'll have like your dipping bowl and then a bowl and an empty bowl where you can put your ingredients, and then you also take some soup later, but
Mhm.
not at the beginning of the meal because you want that thing to cook and like gather flavor. And
Yeah.
then we
So
go.
there's still some comments on the eggs RC. Pampataba daw ng underweight kids. There was a commercial. See? Mitch, of course, is going, let's schedule a hot pot when all of this COVID thing is done. Sige ba? Let's make it a Baduy Pride hot pot on tour.
I would like. So, is there a good like big hot pot place here? Because when I think about, I wonder if I can pull up my photos. But when I think about hot pot, I mean, hot pot in Singapore is really a lot more communal than what we have here. So let me pull up. My favorite in Singapore is Beauty in the Pot.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last few sets, Beauty in the Pot is super awesome. because it's the one. Oops, I look for hotspot. That's a transformer.
One word.
I don't know if you can figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Okay, nope, it's my pot.
I guess beauty would be a better keyword. That might stand out more because it's the name of the restaurant.
Okay.
But this is the collagen soups, right?
Yeah, I like the collagen soup.
So collagen, which has been a beauty thing for many, they have it injected or they're taking it in pills and stuff. There is a collagen soup, which is interesting because it looks almost like the soup solid.
Mm-mm.
There's that white silky soup that almost looks like it's already tofu or it's already milk, and it's pretty good.
Oh, this is the one in Oreo. It's like, what was this? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. It's like, Mine's like, there's a place a friend took us at a big building with lots of hot pot restos. Because of the menus in Chinese. Ooh, that feels super legit though.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I wish we could find that place.
So Karen was asking if there's special equipment for hot pot. Technically, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just need a pot and then you just need to cook.
Mm-hmm.
But admittedly, I have something.
So the standard ones that many use are those portable burners, so the Bunsen burners.
Yeah, the butane things.
Yeah, locally there is a certain brand that has a lot of that now for sale, and they even have all these
I can pull out
recipe
the one
books.
we have.
But then there's the more specialized ones, and I think ultimately you want something that allows you to have the heat going for a extended period of time. So I always worry about the butane ones because I don't know how long those last, but supposedly they last long enough.
So this is like my sister got it for my birthday, and I still keep it in the box. So it's just labeled as an electric skillet. But then the nice thing about it is that it has a decently deep pan, and this is like what we used when we did hot pot for Baduy, for a game night. This is like still more a grill than a hot pot, but it's close enough. Just let me just okay. I'll get the lid out. But
Yeah.
sorry. In terms of like this, it's a very shallow soup thing, which isn't terrible. And then there's a grill plate on top that you can use. But like if you're just gonna do hot pot, then you can do this. And this is like it's decent enough, and then you'll just have to have soup running on the side, and then you can refill your soup throughout. Sorry, it's gonna be a little noisy. Let's put it back. So it's one option, and this was like my sister got it because of the fact that she wanted me to have steamboat options while we're here, and it's as close as we've gotten to hot pot, to like hot pot at home. And it's funny that we still haven't used this at home. Like we used it for that one game night. I used to leave this at the office just in case we would hot pot there, and then we just never quite got around to it.
Because the main thing is you want to be able to do it at the same table where you're eating and not to have it all the way in the kitchen
Yes.
on the stove. Theoretically, you can have it on the stove and people just go there, get their food, and go back, but that's not the same fun experience.
Yeah, you lose the joy of the communal eating.
I don't know if they can hear you there, though.
Sorry. But yeah, you lose the communal eating experience. So like at the bare minimum, in terms of like an easy setup, that's why a lot of people default to the butane ones, or even if you just have one of those single induction burners, I think that's a decent start. And then you can have that. Like if you already have this, then no need to buy specialized equipment. Start with this first.
I would even say if you're really pressed for technology, an old rice cooker might still work because it's a constant source of heat. And then you can have it open because we've used that to fry stuff in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just super annoying because you're gonna have to keep
Yeah.
toggling the switch, to get it boiling. But that's like just an option. And then in terms of ingredients, the sky's the limit for you. But I feel like the main priority is that you want things that cook quickly, and that either is based on the ingredient
Or the thickness of the ingredient.
or the thickness of the ingredient, that you
Mhm.
cut it very small, and hence you have very thin slices of meat.
Mhm.
So everyone dips their forks and spoons in the pot. Naturally, you have serving utensils to fish stuff out.
And then separate,
And
supposedly.
then yeah, so normally it's like you fish it into your specific bowl or plate, and then you eat from that.
And
then
for eating, you should have your own other
chopsticks and
yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
And then there is the consideration of the thickness of the meat. I remember there was that one place we went to where the meat slabs were so thick, so parang tocino na niluluto na yung.
Yeah, that was weird. Was that the one at Aura? I think it was the one at Aura. We tried like so many different styles, and then it was not a happy
No,
experience.
I think it was the one at Ortigas. Sorry, at Greenbelt.
Greenbelt, but not
There was that
Gansu.
second floor. There was that second floor shabu shabu place we decided to try.
Just that one time.
Yes,
Mm.
remember they even had the cheese thing.
Oh no,
Now
no,
I
that's
remember.
I think that's Aura. Isn't that Aura the Korean grill? Because that's the one that had cheese.
No, the other one had also cheese. Remember,
Okay.
it was the place where we went because we were thinking it was the closest keto thing we could try. It was different, and it was because we parked in that building rather than where we normally park.
Mm, okay. Okay.
The one near McDonald's, the one that has the racks. That same building with the racks. It was the shabu shabu there. It's the second floor.
I can't quite remember. Because syempre when I think in Makati, I always think we'd end up at Gansu.
No, not Makati. Not Makati.
Greenbelt is
Hills,
Makati.
Green Hills.
Green Hills.
Near McDonald's.
Oh, wasn't that a Korean grill? It was a Korean grill, not a shabu place.
I'm
With
not
the
sure.
cheese. It was a Korean grill, but the meat was quite sweet. So yeah.
Okay, so
Karen's rice cooker at the condo can cook soup. That's an
Mm.
option. So things like that. So as long as, but yeah, the main point is you want steady heat. You want to be able to control the heat while you're cooking, and then you can, bring it to a boil, lower it. Bring it to a boil, lower it. That one time we did shop with friends and stuff. I would have soup boiling in the kitchen,
mhm.
and even if it's just broth, like at your bare minimum is a bouillon, which is not exciting, but you can do that. A bouillon, and then I just add into the pot as the soup diminishes, and it was kind of fun.
Mhm.
Think about your sequence of food. So like if your ingredients are prepared correctly, then your meat, which typically is cut very thin, will cook
Mhm.
the quickest. So actually, you'll spend more time on vegetables. Like
Yes.
if you do wombok or pechay, those are
Mhm.
typically they take longer. Carrots, if you do carrots, broccoli, these
Mhm.
things, you just gotta cook them down a bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
Then of course you have the noodles, the melon, and the like. Those tend to be cooked longer, and you can tell depending on the consistency when you pull them out.
Yeah, it's funny. I was reading an article about one of the Japanese hot pot styles where they deliberately only put the noodles in at the very end of the
Mm.
meal because then it's sort of like it's your wrap up, and by putting the noodles you signify your ending.
Yes.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It's fascinating. Huh. May just like add about the meat you add. Well, I'm not too picky. I do gravitate towards beef as the primary, only because it then it feels kind of fancy. Then it's like a fun thing. And then like so at Gansu Shabu, we tend to get the Angus one.
Mhm.
Because I know they had like a higher quality beef, but then the higher quality beef meant less fat. And like, no, I need the fat. I'm on keto, so give me the fattier beef. So that was one option.
And then I guess Karen, if you were concerned about everyone putting the utensils in the bowl, many shabu restaurants do have individual burners per customer.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
like the
do your
funny
own
thing. And hence when you see a lot of those mini shabu shabu,
Mhm.
it's literally you have an individual pot burner built
Yeah.
into the table in front of you. There's one at High Street. It's not amazing.
But that's fine if you are conscious about that.
yeah.
If you like the experience of sharing with everyone, then that's when you have more specialty restaurants because that's where they have an actual single burner and everyone there is gathered around it.
And and I've had to juggle this a lot because my sister has a lot of food allergies, and so we'll be like, we're the non-seafood. This is the non-seafood pot, and then I'll share the half with her husband because it's the spicy pot, but it's also the spicy seafood pot. So I mean, there are options for working around it. The nice hot pot restaurants will have was this dividers built into the pot. So I mean, if there was specialized equipment you might want to consider getting if you do end up liking the experience and want to do this at home is to get one of those divided pots. There was a quick video we watched right before the episode where it's parang nesting chicken or something. It's like they have a term for it, whether for that S-curve pot that divides it into two. The really big crazy ones divided into like 9 compartments so that you can vary it not just based on soup but based on meat and things. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy what the options are.
Generally, it seems hot pot is defined to be savory. Fondue being a hot pot seems to be it is lumped among that, but they don't really count it as a hot pot dish.
I guess it's like saying pizza is a pie.
Yeah,
you know?
it might be that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really see listings of dessert hot pots in the main list of samples.
I mean, I'm sure it's like, because even things like mukata, it's not listed in the hot pot page because it's a specific enough variant. So yeah, I guess it's quite different. Yes, Nathaniel, that yin yang thing. So there was a term for it in the video we watched. I'll dig it up. But then yeah, there's like something, the double chicken. I don't know. I want to play the audio again. And then if I can, so when you go back, if there's a chance to travel again and go back to Singapore, a lot of people always talk about Hai Di Lao, and that's always like one of the big hot pot chains in Singapore. But then I don't know, my sister keeps bringing me and her brother bring me to these other places. But I feel like it's a situation like Mai shared where I don't know how to order at these restaurants, or at least some of them are nice and they give you like order slips, like Coca, which is at Takashimaya, has order slips at the table. Then you just keep checking off. But just remember, it's not a buffet. It's you can keep ordering and then you can pass it off to the waiter and then they bring you new stuff.
The photo you shared is Washington Avenue in Makati, the one with puro hot pot. Interesting.
Unfamiliar.
Was it this? No. I misremember. I'm mistaking it as the other one. The one that used to have the videoke place.
I don't know.
No, I'm mixing it up. Okay, it's okay. Ginatan. That actually does sound like maybe it does count as a hot pot. Hard to tell, really hard to tell.
But like, so I can like, I'm gonna share it. I'll share photos.
Share your visuals of what you've done with your office mates.
Well, this is not enough, but it's like it's not comprehensive. It's Google trying to figure out hot pot, which it includes a lot of not hot pot things. But like this, so this is definitely so it's that style where you can grill in the middle and then soup on the side.
Yeah, and then
this is a mokata place. Yeah, so this is nice. And then actually, you can't. I don't know if you can notice at the very top, near the pictures, there's a small little yellow compartment. That's the cheese compartment. So this is
it melts the cheese.
Yeah, this is a mokata thing. And then this is Coca. Yeah, this is Coca. And this is where like the whiter soup on top, that's the beauty soup. So that's a collagen soup. And then the one here is a very simple divider, where there's like a not spicy and spicy soup. Oh, one thing we don't have here, which frustrates me. You see that big sheet on the pot closer to the screen? Tofu skin. That's tofu skin. It is awesome because it feels like a noodle, but it's tofu. So then I can eat it because it's keto. And then like, I don't know why we have that. We don't quite have that here.
Or maybe we do, but they call it something else.
Yeah. Then trying to look at then obviously I have a lot of hot pot photos. And then it's like, this one is Coca again, but we ate at a different table.
You don't have the one of the beauty soup we had.
No, but that's enough. The one we had.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's this? No, this is a different. This is Gansu Shaboy. Okay, this is and then Was it this? Oh, it was this. This was the one in. This is the one in Green Hills.
Yeah, and it had tofu, but not necessarily the tofu skin.
Yeah, not quite tofu skin, and so that
And this was pricey.
this was expensive for it, but in terms of like the collagen soup experience, it was
It got it.
pretty close. It was pretty close, and then I appreciated that. Oh, Transformers, and then oh, this was that one at Uptown. Didn't like this one.
Yeah.
This was just kind of sad, and then like
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay, and then oh, this is not. This was was this is army. Korean army stew thing. I couldn't eat this. This is my my other friends in Singapore were eating it, but then it's literally a cheese river around the middle, and then that's like instant noodles, pork and beans. Hence, it's army. It's an army thing, army stew. This was this looks like Beauty in the Pot.
Yeah,
oh my god, this Beauty in the Pot.
With the tofu and skins.
I love tofu skin. And then okay, this fascinates me. In the upper left, there are these weird like meat shoots.
Yeah, because they're not broken up into sheets or clumps or balls.
So that one is like that's like mince, and then it's normally like it's shrimp or something, and then they will cut off slices and put that into the soup. Then you have discs of this meat that's very flavorful.
So it's the equivalent of on the spot blank nuggets.
Something like that. But oh my god, I super love Beauty in the Pot. And then yeah, but it was just fishing out thing. And see here on the side, on the upper part, see tofu skin again, served a different way, but then it's rolled up. We're obsessed with tofu skin. I just keep ordering. Yeah, and this was like this is Ganshu again. Yeah, this is Ganshu Shabu. So yeah, so obviously we've done a lot of like hot pot things.
In some places, those are called dumplings.
Yeah, so I just know it as tofu skin, and it's really just it's a thin sliver of tofu, and but it's like the closest I'll get to the consistency of a noodle while on keto, and I appreciate that so much because you don't normally get that. Yeah, so I miss the variety of hot pot styles in Singapore, definitely.
Hey, Noel.
It's because it's just so many, because again they get to sample like different Asian stuff. Then hence you have like, do I want mukata today, or do I just want like the classic coca experience where the dipping sauce is very special and they have the beauty in the collagen soup. But then Beauty in the Pot super celebrates the collagen soup as their main thing. They serve it in these little glass milk bottles, and then you get to make your own sauce at Beauty in the Pot. And I have to find a picture of that, but
So-
it's awesome. Yes. What is your Toby question?
So King Kong and Godzilla of icebergs is the dessert version of hot pot.
I don't know if I would go that far, but okay. Sure. If you want it to be, sure. I'm trying to find if I have like, do I have a photo of the hot pot bar, the sauce bar? But I guess I don't.
So while you're searching, Noel mentions, never was a fan of hot pot or samgyup where you need to cook the food yourself. The only time I was really into it was when I was dating someone who was really into it. I think that's part of it. Personally, I'm not a fan of cooking my own food either. But when it's doing it with someone and you're enjoying that moment doing it, it does become fun. Because there have been times, diba, we asked the assistants, paki-ready na lang yan, and then we'll just eat it. And there have been times that we just...
Yeah, for like when we would do Sariwan,
like there's some meats, sige, pakiluto na lang, and then just serve it to us.
oh, I'm super wrong. No, this is, wait, I think I found my Beauty in the Pot photos. But I loaded the whole day, so then it done. Yes, okay. Let me, let me share again. Okay.
Yes, Noel, sama ka sa amin next time para it's a more fun hot pot moment.
Okay, so this is just where you set up your sauce.
Wow, look at that.
Look at all these options. It's bananas, and then it's really like, and look at this. Look at this friendly sign that is mostly in Chinese.
Open till 6 a.m. daily.
Yeah, so you could set up, and then you could get fruit at the beginning of the meal to like, or you save it for dessert. But basically, it was this one stop, like set up everything, and and then mushrooms on the side, blah blah blah. And then see, and then it's like super big. It's this super big little vat for the soup. And then you would share. And then see, this is tofu skin on the right, and then different meat that are super thin slices.
So,
This
so
looks like
Noel was
shaya pulut.
asking, basta may vegetarian option. I think it's doable. If it's individual hot pots, then you can make sure yours doesn't have meat.
Yeah.
Because the soup base naman, it's up to you which one you'll choose. Uh,
I zoom in on the tofu skin. And then see super big mushrooms. Oh my god. Nope, that was my see, I'm so happy here. Oh my god, because it's paradise. Okay. Yeah. So, wow, Mitch is like, can you give tips on basics of sauce? It really depends on your flavor palette
mhm.
and what you like. Like I definitely like a nice contrast. So I do like some sort of a soy base, but then I want something sharp. So maybe
Mm.
like a vinegar, or and definitely like spring onions, nice
Mm.
cilantro if they have it, nice little pop of flavor. I can't do sugar anymore, so none of that. And then yeah, that's like my basics,
Mhm.
and like I'd want those in my sauce. What do you try to do, or what do you think about
No,
for sauces, or whatever they provide?
Yeah, I just use whatever they provide. I'm not that much into the spices anymore.
Mm-mm.
But I like seeing what things taste like when I try mixing and mixing stuff up. Just make sure you don't get so much sauce that when you reach for the bowl with the serving utensils, you carry the sauce there as well.
Oh, and then one thing I always like, I do have grown fond of is garlic. And then like I don't know why I appreciate even the raw garlic mixed into my
Mhm.
sauce container, but it works for me now. I blame Korean cuisine
Mhm.
that has made me super appreciate raw garlic. So yeah, so I mean like the fun of the hot pot experience. I mean, and it's this a lot of like we were watching different videos before this, and then a lot of them like the main criticism of course is always like one, it's like you're cooking your own food at a restaurant,
Mhm.
and then two, it's not very complex cooking. It's soup base, throw things in,
And then fish them out to eat
and
them.
see what comes out,
Mhm.
and that's fine. But it's really the experience of sharing it
Mm.
with a friend, and that's what I think what really defines the hot pot
Mhm.
for you and how it's fun.
Yeah, which is why I related to the boodle fight,
Mm-mm.
or even if we go away from Philippine version to a picnic, wherein you all gather the foods there, and then everyone just gets a little bit of what they want, and
Yeah.
they eat and enjoy as they go along. So it was intended for that experience. It was a communal way to eat. But yes, of course, now with restaurants,
Mm-mm.
we're aware that you might go there on a date, or you might go there with friends and office mates. So kailangan may separate containers.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would recommend uh like hot pot for a date. Or I feel like it's like saying I wouldn't recommend a buffet for a date. Because it's some serious eating, it's messy eating, and like I don't know if that's an experience you want to share. Notice me, like I had bibs on in some of these places. And then Toby always spills something on his shirt. Every time.
But we went to Icebergs, which is pretty much dessert hot pot.
No. It's only because you eat a pot of dessert. Okay? It's not again, it's meant for sharing. In your mind, a Godzilla or a King Kong was not meant for sharing.
No, I learned I could share it.
Wow. See, look, learned. It's like I had to teach him because that is not how he viewed a 5 to 6 scoop ice cream thing. Um I remember this. Mitch is like, I remember this scene from Will and Grace where Grace is talking about noodle soup where you want to take a bath on the sauce. Oh my god.
Speaking of taking a bath on the sauce, there is a hot pot spring in China where you actually also take a bath
Oh my god.
while you're enjoying hot pot.
Oh my god.
So if you search for it, you have individual areas or you have shared areas where you can take your bath. One of them is First World Hotel in Hangzhou, China, where yes, the hot spring baths. You have to do hot pot bathhouse.
Oh, let me search. Let me search so I can bring it up in the episode.
So it's basically hot pot set with sauna bath, and it's an interesting new thing that has become hot pot to hot.
I said spot again.
Yeah. There you go. You could reshare those images. Yay!
Wait, let me share tab. Let me share tab. Oh my god, guys. This is Amazeballs. Oops, no, that didn't work. Copy image address. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I am into this.
So yeah, it does look quite interesting. You're able to enjoy the food while enjoying a bathhouse experience with your friends.
This looks disturbing. He is too happy being in
Yeah,
Friends.
that's my favorite picture. That guy.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
funny thing is, this isn't as odd if you think about it as many stuff that we've already had here. In many spas, there is the couples rooms wherein you are in a flavored fruity or floral
like
bath.
the tub thing.
But at the same
yeah.
time, while you're there, you're given tea, you're given biscuits to eat, and
they're getting you ready. You know?
diba? And then there is also in some tourist spots in other parts in the Philippines where there's that cauldron with the hot water and you sit like you're being cooked in a soup. But it's actually a
It's very
refreshing
aromatic,
herbal
yeah.
bath.
Black Swana asks, as someone who's never had hot pot, what's something that could be used as a good side? And I think that's the funny thing. I feel like you don't normally focus on sides when you're having hot pot.
Mm-mm.
The hot pot is the star. Everything. I mean, you might have a bit of an appetizer beforehand, and especially in like if you're going to like a very traditional Chinese restaurant, I'm sure it's something pickled.
Mm-mm.
It's something
Well,
pickled or whatever.
the joy of pickled stuff is it allows you to cleanse your palate.
Yes.
So let's say you have the soup, you enjoyed it, then you can have some pickle. It cleanses your palate. Then you can try something else and you'll take the full flavor. So that might be a different soup base, or you might be a different dipping sauce. So it allows you to distinguish those flavors. Look at this huge one.
Oh my god! Of course, isn't it bad to eat while you're swimming in water? Well, it's bad if you're doing rigorous physical activity, but this is a bathhouse, so you're just soaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's okay.
Yeah, can you go to the site? Mustsharenews.com.
Oh my god! Wait, let me try. Hot pot bath house, and then the name was Must Share. There.
There. And then you can share that tab.
I'm gonna share the tab. Give me a moment, guys. This is amazing.
Because this is something I would love to have with all our Baduy Pride friends.
Do we really want to like be this close and soak in together? Oh, it's not zooming well. There, but oh my gosh. And then they're eating.
And note male-female separation just because you want to reassure people that no hanky-panky's going on.
But the women are spicy.
like things don't happen between should we tell them? Anyway, yeah, look at that.
my
Oh my
God.
gosh, it's so fun. I love it.
There's a 9 ingredient pool. Yeah, okay, this we saw.
Yeah.
This is Toby's spirit animal right there. Toby would also do this.
I love it.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
super crazy.
I've been experienced worth trying someday in our lives.
Ha! So Mai's like sitting in herbal bath is one thing, eating it is another. That is true. Of
Because,
course,
but wait, you're not eating the soup you're in.
yeah, you're served other food.
Yeah.
So
It's just that
same.
you're enjoying being in a bath, and it's been designed to look like it's also.
It's
soup.
like that restaurant that everything is poop, and you're sitting on toilets. It's a theme. It's a theme.
Mhm.
Okay, it's a theme. Or it's like or you can slightly compare it to what's that Villa Escudero? Where you
you're
eat at the
you eat at the
waterfall.
waterfall, and the water's flowing under your feet.
Yeah,
all
it's
the
like
time.
you don't have to have your feet wet
But it's
and
an
cold,
experience.
but it's an experience. So it's a thing. And I just like, why have hot pot when you can be the hot pot? I think
Diba?
that's really
And imagine
the logic.
dates there. You already can size each other up if you're really compatible. You can throw all the innuendo. Do you like it spicy?
And you can see how they respond to heat. No, I don't know. Of course, Noel's like he does different kinds of eating at bathhouses. Pam pam pam.
Yeah, so Karen says the kid in the chili bath, hindi ba nakaka-burn yan? See, again, I think they're just props. But the fact they look that visual, it makes it fun to look at. It makes it a memorable
Yeah, because you think about it,
experience.
they all distinctly float.
Yes.
So they could be plastic.
Mhm.
That could work out. I mean it looks proppy. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. The lettuce looks real.
Just be worried if they have like discount whatever soups because it's probably using those as ingredients.
Mitch's like, let's not forget the juice and desserts at Hot Pot Resto. Some are only like in Taiwan, mala spicy hot pot ice cream or Haagen-Dazs.
So in our hot pot experiences, we never really had specific sides or desserts afterwards.
It doesn't help that most of my hot pot experience recently have been because I'm on keto.
Yeah, but even
There's none
then,
offered.
None is offered.
And to be fair, if I even go back to think about the Singapore places I've gone to, dessert is not common.
Yeah.
Although the Mokata place we went to did have a dessert bar, which is basically you could get ice cream.
Mhm.
So it really depends, but it's not intrinsic to the experience.
From our experience, though, I think tea is even the better side afterwards
because you will feel super full,
and you want to relax your stomach. You want to feel like you're, telling your body, okay, enough of the flavors. It's time to calm down. So yeah, tea seems to be the better post-eating side for us.
Especially like if you're the person who will try to finish the soup at the end.
Mhm.
It's like there's like it.
Because that's really potent soup.
It's very potent at the end, especially if you've all been very smart in your food choices
Mm.
and like how you spread things out. So, I mean, yeah. So I will concede it's not enough. That's why it's like it's a cooking style. It's not quite a cuisine in itself, and it's not a distinct dish in itself, but it's an experience.
Mm.
And I do miss it like most buffet things. And that's why I don't think I ever really minded the buffets where we cook our own food because it's fun to do together.
Mm.
That's what we like about that experience. And
And then Rocky judges the number of plates I bring back.
with weird things. And then, it's distinctly, I know Toby's going to be trying to see what does this taste with this. That's the equation that Toby's always trying to answer in his head. He's-
Baby corn and ice cream.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So yeah, it's a spread. I do super miss it. And then oh my god, it's like it was
We've yet to do it here. We were planning to do
here at home
steamboat here at home.
Yeah.
But we have yet to do it. Partly because one, weekdays there's no time. We're
Yes.
just we have to eat and go back to work. But then weekends we haven't really mapped it out because we tend to have a full docket of things to do for weekends.
And then
Whether
it's
it's medicine runs.
Yeah.
or-
And it would be nice to like you have to really like map out like you have to buy the pre-sliced meat. That's like nicely thin meat. I mean you can use fish, which cook quickly, right? I mean there's a lot of fish fillet types that'll probably work well. Probably chicken fillets could also cook quickly. But but you want a beef thing or a
Or you
pork
want
thing.
you want that machine that allows you to cut it
Okay,
in
we're
really
not
nice
going to buy
slices.
a meat slicer. Okay.
Because how else would you prepare the meat at the right, unless you buy them already pre-cut?
Yeah, so that's why the pre-cut, and there's a lot of like sukiyaki options and
Mm.
Korean barbecue options now at supermarkets. So that gives you some variety. And then for those of you who are not on keto, then yes, you can buy as many chicken balls, fish balls, squid balls as you like. Those are easy hot pot fare, but are not required to make your hot pot experience. Again, your hot pot is your own, and you choose what you want to put into it.
Mm.
And then like easy veggies for me is like always like wombok or pechay bagyo, whatever you want to call it, because it chops easy.
Mm.
It's easy to manipulate with chopsticks.
It
and
lasts longer.
It lasts
as well
pretty long in the
soup.
fridge
Yeah.
and in
the
the soup. Yeah, it doesn't disintegrate. Unlike
Yes.
if you use because there's like some that might actually do lettuce and then that just dies
or
away.
like squash, it vanishes, and then you realize
Squash
it's the soup.
magically vanishes if it's like pre-sliced. It disappears. Yeah. So
Baby corn is yummy.
I
not
miss
keto.
baby corn. Yeah, I miss baby corn.
Mhm.
Mushrooms are, I think, always a smart thing.
Mhm.
And then for soup base, if you're gonna do hot pot at home, you could experiment by going to all those different Korean groceries.
Because they sell the premix.
They're bound
soups.
to have premixed soups. Or
Yeah.
if you're desperate, I argue that you can use instant noodles. You
Mhm.
can use so if you already like have a preferred like ramjun flavor thing, whatever spicy Korean thing, then you can totally make that your soup base.
You could even ask them specifically which ones would be good for hot pot, and even ask them, no fish hot pot or no meat, and then maybe
Yeah, you're bound to find something. So we live in a time of a lot of Asian groceries. There's Lazada.
Mhm.
You're bound to find stuff. There are a bunch of Likam Ki soup paste packets that you can also use, and those are pretty widely available at the supermarket. So the sky's the limit. And hence my pondering earlier, like, can you make a sinigang hot pot? Probably not with instant soup mix, because that again, it's super froths. So but yeah, so it's not a specific dish. It's just a style, and then you can just have fun with it. It's like you have kimchi, dunk it in water and boil it. Oh, that's how I make kimchi soup. I
Yes.
boil kimchi into soup, and
Yes.
I just have a chicken or beef bouillon as a base. Good stuff, super good stuff. So yeah, and it's funny as the only challenge of like hot pot at home is that one, it's a lot of work to set up. And then two, it's a lot of cleanup. Because you probably have all these containers where you have all the ingredients. If you just serve them straight out of the bag, I guess that's fine. And then like when my sister would do hot pot in Singapore at home, we would lay out like newspaper on the table and then just throw the newspaper when we're done. Because you'll always have
The small spills,
the small
and the small
dripping
drips.
as everybody fishes stuff out of
Yeah.
the hot pot. It's
But as Mitch does say, unless you're sharing a pot, go crazy with the contents of your own pot.
mm-mm.
And Noel says, feeling ko boring hot pot ko na vegetarian.
No.
Actually, I think it'll be even more interesting because it'll be interesting to see what you were able to build and come up with.
Ganshu Shaboe has distinctly they're the main bowl of like vegetables. You can just have that. Hence that's why they have a vegetable and mushroom
Which is
set.
separate from the meat order.
Yes. You
can
don't order
literally
them
just
together.
order vegetables and mushrooms.
Yes.
And you can
And that'll be
and-
pretty
and-
robust.
and you can have the soup refilled.
Yes. That's what I like about Ganshu Shaboe.
So like you're enjoying it, and then you still have vegetables. Oh, can we have more soup?
So you don't have then
And you can even change soup. If you
yeah,
want
and then in your case you don't get the chicken gingers. You can probably just get the spicy and the seaweed.
Mm. And then if let's say you're running low now, you can order more vegetables, and then you'll realize you're low on soup. Ask for more soup, and then
Yeah.
you'll realize you still need
The
vegetables.
soup is free. It is free to refill the same type of soup at Gansu Shaboe. The meat is always a separate price. The vegetables is a separate price.
but
It's super worth it.
and we've never really needed to order extra meat.
Yeah, but that's us. I'm and there may be others that have a different like eating style.
Are there accessories for a hot pot?
like a dripping pan to put under to prevent spills or something? Not. I mean, there are like I brought ours out earlier, but then like it really depends. And then the other stuff is just I think there's more variation if you go to other countries. Here, our options are pretty limited. You tend to just have hot plates for grilling, and then maybe a soup thing. So I've yet to really see the more specialized stuff. So in Singapore and Thailand, where mochata is more popular, you'll see more of the dome things.
And admittedly, it's also depending on how you want to enjoy it. I mean, it's not that different from really just having soup. So if you're the type to just get everything in one go and then you eat and you don't make new ones, then you'll probably have less spillage. But you won't have the joy of adding more stuff and cooking more and eating. So it's really up to you how messy it will be.
Yeah, because by right, even just a clay pot, or if you want to be virtuous, like a palayok, is hot pot material. And then like you could just have a little burner on your table and then you cook there and eat
Because
directly
the
out
main
of it.
idea is you're always able to prepare more and then you can serve it to yourself and then prepare more and then serve it to yourself. Hence, that's where spillage can happen.
Yeah, and the soup is actually the soup is the last thing you eat, which is funny. Although admittedly we end up eating soup midway, hence we refill at Gansu Shabu.
We like
I keep
adding
saying
the
Gansu
soup.
Shabu because it's the only place we've really gone where we've like enjoyed the experience.
Super enjoyed.
I haven't found a other shabu shabu place that we really like. We tried the one at Aura recently, but admittedly, it's also we tried it during COVID, so we were very stressed
Yeah.
about eating inside. There were barely any people, which is nice. And then our problem with that is that the set comes with a lot of noodles and corn, so it's a lot of punishment carbs for Toby that I can't eat. So that doesn't it's not super ideal for us, especially considering the price. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that is 1 hour of us discussing hot pot. We definitely will consider finding a way to enjoy it all together once the pandemic is over.
Yeah, we need a non-quarantine solution. And then I wonder if there are nice like hot pot kits, because that's like something that became super big in Singapore. And I only say this because one of our former colleagues, all of her IG stories like every weekend was like I felt like they were experimenting with a different hot pot restaurant, and it would just be entire sets of hot pot, which is amazing.
So the internet shows there are supposedly hot pot hooray and shabu shabu delivery Manila that do supposedly hot pot by delivery.
Ooh.
There are others such as Sangyup sa Bahay that also supposedly has that option.
But I'm assuming, there's like a packet for 2 people.
Yeah,
That's
packages
nice.
for 2 people start at around 1,000.
Ah, interesting. Interesting. Oh, Black Swan says, enjoyed eating with my guy, to be honest. Experimentation flavor sounds fun. Yeah, that's the fun part. See, that's like, then it's an eating experience that's something you can talk about at the same time.
Hot pot hooray is around 1,000 for a package. The package is 1 liter of premium soup base.
That's not a lot when you think about it. Oh my god, because it's Hai Di Lao soup base.
Yes.
Walao eh. Okay, so sorry. No, but because Hai Di Lao is again, it's a big hot pot chain in Singapore, and yes, they have pre-packaged their hot pot soup already into an instant experience. But it's like it's really something you have to share. And then she's just using a standard pot in this photo. Good job, girl. So yeah, that's something to look into. And I don't know, but admittedly, if it's just me and Toby, it's like it's okay, but it's kind of sad. Like I mean, like I don't know, or maybe we could do a Baduy Pride episode and we live stream it in the afternoon and like let's have hot pot together.
And I'm hoping hot pot becomes something people get into. What is that meat cheese board that everyone was doing for New Year?
Charcuteries.
I mean, a hot pot is pretty much the same idea, only more Asian.
Okay, fine. Toby's comparison engine is like very broad. You know, he can draw connection between 2 very diverse things. But I'll accept it. I'll accept what we come out with. And then
Is Halo Halo a solo dessert hot pot experience?
no, we just said that there are no dessert hot pots. End of discussion. You brought up the article.
Maybe because people haven't realized it.
No.
Then you can make Halo Halo a public group. Imagine there's a giant bowl of milk.
I am not sharing a milk-based product with a large group of people. No. Okay.
Yeah, but I guess that's it. That is our episode. Is there any last few things to add? Any last few
I
statements?
guess we'll see if we can experiment with takeaway hot pot set.
Mhm.
Like, my God, it's been a year in quarantine, and then we'll let you know how it goes.
Or if you try any of those services, or you find one in your area that works,
let us know. Oh my
yeah,
God,
we would love to
not
hear
just like
about it.
wet charcuterie. Hot pot. My God.
Or charcuterie soup.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll let you we'll keep you guys posted if we decide a package or if we just do it on our own. Because again, at its most basic, you can totally do it on your own. I think I could totally do a kimchi soup base, and then like we hot pot stuff in it.
It's just a question of choosing what you'll buy because you want to prepare that in advance.
Yeah.
You want to,
and then it's prep, guys. It's like your
yeah,
own prep.
you'll
and, like,
want to
I
do
want
the prep in advance because then the prep is waiting
and
for.
then you take your
how
picture
long before
with
you
all
eat.
your hot pot things and like, hey, let's eat.
Yes. I guess that's it. We're all hungry now, and we're all wondering how we'll deal with this hunger at this hour in the night. But that's all the time we have for tonight. We had so much fun talking about hot pot. We're so thankful you joined us tonight, and we hope you'll join us again next time.
If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill out the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. Thanks again to Mitch to help us all swim in hot pot tonight. And if you complain about feeling hungry, blame her. All right, then you be sure. Just feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. Let's share our hot pot stories. Let's share our hot pot experiments moving forward. And of course, be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Oh, I didn't even move the things. I forgot Twitter. Auto Binoshade, Arjusiniko. The blog, baduypride.com. And look, I still have the caption from yesterday. The 7th year wins. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.